Oh, one of these things. This has this 6-speed automatic. It's a pretty good transmission. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be going over a 2021 Toyota Tacoma SR5. But first and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to the Large Mailer Toyota here in Murray for giving me some time with this Tacoma. Check out the inventory on the link below. Let's get straight into the video. Under the hood of the Tacoma, we have a naturally aspirated 3.5 liter V6 that goes through a 6-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 18 around town and then 22 on the highway, with power outputs being 278 horsepower and then 265 pound-feet of torque. Now let's go over the front end of the Tacoma SR5. This one's finished in cement, if you're wondering on the name of the color. We've got the full halogen projector bulb here at the front with a little fog light just down below. And then I love the look of the bumper. Kind of has like a cool off-roader look. And then you do have a little air dam there at the bottom, which obviously helps out with fuel economy and all that kind of stuff on the highway. And then you can see hidden, like really deep into there, you got the little tow hook, which, yeah, just really hidden. But overall, that's the front end of the Tacoma SR5. Coming around the side here, we've got two 45mm tires wrapped around 16-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. And just because the wheel is so small, it actually looks pretty good with the tire and wheel setup. Gives it kind of like that bubbly off-roader look with the tire itself. But let's actually take a closer look. So you can see again, you got kind of like that off-roader type design on the wheel itself, which for a base model truck, it's a really good looking wheel. And then you can see it's kind of like more of a street oriented tire. And then there's a quick look at what we kind of can see of the suspension area. You got the Tacoma badge there on the side, body painted mirrors, and then you got the little SR5 badge there on the back of the cab. And then also you got the mud flaps in the front and in the rear. But there is your full side view on the Tacoma SR5. Now let's go into the rear of the Tacoma here. So you can see that this actually already has a plastic liner here on the tailgate itself, and then all throughout the bed. Pretty cool. They just give you that composite liner, again, from the factory itself. And it is a bit of a smaller size bed, but again, this is a smaller size truck. Now the payload capacity on this particular Tacoma is about 990 pounds. Now let's go over the rest of the rear of the Tacoma. So first off, I really like the taillights on the Tacoma. I've always kind of liked the overall look of them, just kind of like a nice little signature look for a smaller sized truck. And then I like how they kind of like make this little side portion here darker. Got the exhaust tips sticking out these side, got the V6 logo, all that kind of stuff. But other than that, pretty simple here in the back. Towing capacity is about 6,400 pounds with this truck, since it does have the V6. Let's go over the door panel here in the rear of the Tacoma. So you actually get soft touch here where you're going to rest your arm, and then you've got little window control right there. And then we do have the seats in the rear, so you got these full cloth seats. Pretty cool little pattern here on the back of the seat itself. And if you guys are wondering, the seat doesn't lift up or anything like that. But let's actually pop in. So stepping in, ooh, it's kind of tight back here. Well, I fit. I'm 5'11". Legroom a little bit more on the tight side. You got a couple cup holders right there. I guess we got the license plate holder, something or the other right there. But that's the back of the Tacoma. Now let's go over the door panel here in the front of the Tacoma. So again, you get that same soft touch in that little area. And then you've got all of your window controls with your little mirror adjustment. And then here are the seats at the front. Again, all of the cloth. You got the cool little design there throughout the seat itself. Nice bolstering on the seats, and then you've got the little bolsters just down below. Now notice that they are power adjustable, which is pretty cool for a base model. And then we've got little pedals just down below there in that little area, and then up here you got the little cargo light, you got your stability control, and then the steering wheel is manually adjustable. But there is one more look before we pop in. Here's the steering wheel with the SR5. You can see that you've got kind of like this like rougher touch leather there at the top, and then you got the perforated leather there on the side. We're actually going to grab on the steering wheel so you get a good grip. Got the controls there for the center stack, the little pages button for the center stack. You've got your collision assistance and your lane departure assistance controls. Phone controls, your volume controls, voice command controls, all that kind of stuff. Nothing too crazy. And then you do have the stock for the turn signal and the lights, and then the stock for the windshield wiper on the other side. But That's the steering wheel. Now here's the center gauge cluster. We do have the RPMs over there on the left side. On the right side, you've got the speed. It's kind of like a full analog setup. And then here in the center, there's a couple different menus that you can scroll through just to give you different bits of information on the Tacoma, like telling me that it's a brand new truck on a car lot with low fuel, because that never happens in any of my videos. Like, that's just never a thing. But yeah, pretty cool looking, and you know, pretty basic setup, but I mean, gets the job done. Now here's the center infotainment system. First off, if we pop it into reverse, we've got a backup camera that's going to pop up with little trajectory lines. Now they don't turn with the steering wheel, but resolution on the camera is relatively good. Sorry about the little glare there on that corner, hopefully. There we go, no more glare, guys. But with the rest of the infotainment system, response time on it's pretty good. This is Toyota's older unit, so they kind of like updated this just to, like, the functionality on it's pretty similar for like the newer cars. It's just the response time's a little bit better on some of the newer cars, like on the Highlander, for example, or I just reviewed a Sienna today, that kind of stuff. But it still functions all the same, it's just a little bit different. Now, just down below, we've got our dual zone climate controls here in this little area, and then we do have our driveline select. So you got your two-wheel drive, your four-wheel high, and then your four-wheel low. And then down here, we've got some more controls. So we've got our blind spot monitoring. This is for the power outlets, and then you've got this, which is actually for the power sliding window there in the back. So you press that, and then that'll open and close the little window right there. And then we do have a little USB right next to it, and then we've got a 12 volts, and we've got my little mask right there, but some extra storage right here with a couple of cup holders. Now here's the shifter for that 6-speed automatic transmission. This does have a manual shift function, so you can shift the gears yourself, and then there is a traditional little brake here on the side. So if you like the old school brake, then well, Tacoma's got it. Got more cup holders right here if you didn't already have enough in that little area, so you can have a million drinks. We do have the center console here, which storage space is pretty decent within the center console. And there, you guys notice that you can thread a cable through that little side right there. And then we've got the glove box over here, which again, storage space is pretty good. And then you guys look at the material use. It's not necessarily the nicest, but just think like this is gonna be really easy to clean off. This is kind of like a base model truck. So you kind of got like the durability and the ease of cleaning. And then you can see the little circular vents, which I really like the look of them, and they function really well. Like, you can perfectly point them. Top here, we do have the sunglass holder, and then we've got some lights, which again, functionality on that is pretty straightforward. Just a traditional mirror, and then a lighter colored headliner, which matches with the rest of the interior on this SR5. Now that we're done going the interior on this V6 Tacoma SR5, let's quickly get into the pricing. So in terms of pricing, this particular truck has four-wheel drive. I mean, you guys have pretty much assumed that. Like, every single truck I review in Utah has four-wheel drive. I will mention it if it doesn't. But anyways, stickers are about $37,000. Let's take this Tacoma out and see how it drives. Oh, one of these things. Let's quickly talk about visibility before we set off here in this V6 Tacoma. You can see visibility there over the hood, and then you can see visibility through both of the mirrors, and they do have blind spot monitoring. And here's throughout the rest of the rear. So visibility is pretty solid here in this SR5 Tacoma, and let's set off. So we're initially setting off here in the SR5 Tacoma, and let's talk about the road noise and the ride quality. So from a ride quality perspective, I mean, for a pickup truck, it's really smooth. We'll just kind of see how it goes going over these things. Yeah, they really don't upset the truck. It just has like this nice, smooth ride quality to it. And then from a road noise perspective, because the tire and wheel setup is so small on this truck, you really don't hear a whole lot from the tire and wheels. And then wind noise is pretty much minimal. You guys can see it's relatively windy today with those balloons waving in the winds, but you really just don't hear a whole lot from that. So just overall, it definitely has this nice little kind of like luxury truck feel to it almost, which is surprising from a Tacoma. You don't really get a Tacoma or expect a Tacoma to have that feeling. Brake actuation's pretty good. It is a smaller size truck, so I expected it to have decent stopping power just because it's so small. Turning it, yep, it feels small. There's it's pretty straightforward. Like, it's a smaller size truck, and it feels like a smaller size truck. And the last little thing is I just want to go over a couple more of these little manholes to see if they kind of upset, especially the rear end of the truck. Yeah, they don't. So the truck's just really stable, which I I mean, that's what I'd be looking for in a truck, especially if I was going to daily drive it. We are going to be getting our acceleration here with the Tacoma. So obviously there's no drive modes, but we do have a manual mode, so we're in the manual mode right now. So I just drove a V6 Camry before this. It's pretty interesting, the difference between the two. Obviously they both have 3.5 liter V6s. The Camry's got that 8-speed automatic, whereas this has this 6-speed automatic. It's a pretty good transmission. It's not as smooth as the Camry. The gear shifts aren't as quick either, and I'm going to slow down just a little bit here. Just get a second acceleration here in the automatic mode with the Tacoma. Yeah, so you guys can kind of see how it is with the pedal modulation and the gear shifts and all that. It's not bad by any means. It's just not crazy quick or anything like that. A little bit more on the old school side of things. And that'll actually get me into selling things up with this V6 Tacoma. So from an exterior styling perspective, even though they haven't really done much with the Tacoma over the years, it's still a good looking truck. Like, it's not necessarily the most modern or futuristic, but it's aged well in my opinion. I think it's still a really good looking truck with this current body style. And then from the interior perspective, again, this is like your baseline truck, so it doesn't have the nicest interior, but this interior is going to be easy to clean. And the durability on it, I mean, everything just feels like it's going to last a really long time. Like, if this truck had 200,000 miles on it, it would pretty much, you know, look pretty close to what it looks like right now. And I like that feeling in a car. Definitely something that as I've gotten a little bit older, I'm not crazy old, I'm 23 years old, but as I've gotten a little bit older, I kind of appreciate that durability in vehicles a lot more. And then in terms of the performance, I mean, for a mid-sized truck, it's right where it needs to be. None of these mid-sized trucks are fast. It's sad. It'd be cool if they threw a big old V8 in one of these mid-sized trucks, but car manufacturers just don't, which is sad to me. But yeah, it's right where it needs to be, performance-wise, to be competitive in this segment. So just overall, the Tacoma's still a great truck. It is a little bit more on the dated side, but it's super reliable. This engine is, I mean, this engine is crazy. Like, that's why they have this engine in so many cars, is because you just can get so many miles out of it. So if you're looking for a really reliable, durable truck that, you know, is brand new, has a warranty on it, then that's where this Tacoma is really going to shine. Now that is going to sum things up for our video on this 2021 Toyota Tacoma SR5. And again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry H. Miller Toyota here in Murray for giving me some time with this Tacoma. Check out the inventory link below. I'll see all of you in the next video.